Our next example comes from a publisher who came to us asking for a solution to print a vibrant, bright cover. As you can see, the original RGB artwork is colorful and saturated and would naturally fall well out of gamut for a standard CMYK press. The client was not satisfied with a standard CMYK reproduction, which, as you can see, is quite dull and desaturated compared to the original. They asked us what is possible, and we came up with several variations on how this file could be printed to achieve a more vibrant appearance. Let's take a closer look at some examples of these separations. In this image, there is quite a lot of vibrant pink. So for our first variation, we thought, what if we swap out the magenta for a more vibrant ink? We looked at the hue and decided to go with rhodamine red. We took the RGB file and made a conversion that created a 4-color separation with cyan, rhodamine red, yellow, and black. In OpenColor, we created a new project and selected our printing process, in this case offset printing, and selected our media and added the Grackle 2013 characterization data. We also added in rhodamine red. We created an output profile for our Epson printer, which allowed us to make a hard copy proof for this print condition. Then we went to our separation, selected the colors we wanted to use, which in this case was cyan, rhodamine red, yellow, and black. Now we'll select Adobe RGB as the source and create the separation. This separation can be used in Photoshop with the Color plugin or in Color Server to separate the file from RGB to the custom color space. Let's take a look in Photoshop. Here, using the Color plugin, we can convert the file to a custom 4-color space. Notice that when we do this, the separation targets back to the original RGB file, creating the best possible separation within the gamut available with these inks. This way of separating is efficient and accurate. Rather than simply putting rhodamine red where magenta was, all of the channels are rebalanced to give us the closest match to the original file. Not only that, we can see the file by using the preview function in the Color plugin and proof the file using ColorProof. This gives us a clear view of how this file will print on press. This version is clearly improved, but we wanted to take it much further and show the client an option with the best possible reproduction. For this version, we decided to go all out and create a 7-color separation. We did some testing and trial and error and settled on the color combination of cyan, rhodamine red instead of magenta, yellow, black, orange 21, Pantone 3255, and Pantone 2736. In OpenColor, we created a new project and again defined our press, paper, and other parameters. We added in the Grackle characterization and also added in our selected Pantone colors. We created the printer profile using the same methodology as the 4-color example from before. Next, we created the separation, using the RGB to channel extender option. We selected Adobe RGB as our source space, and then selected the inks we wanted to use in this separation. It will calculate the profile, and then we can publish this so it becomes available in the Color plugin and in Color Server. We ran this conversion in Color Server, and here is the resulting file. As you can see, the file now has 7 channels, and the result is very close to the original RGB file. We are able to see the result on screen by using the preview function in the Color plugin, and also make a proof in ColorProof to check our work on a hard copy. We recognized that printing with 7 colors might be cost prohibitive, so we decided to do several more variations, one 6-color and one 5-color. This way, the client could see what would happen when printing with the different color combinations and could decide the best option based on result and budget. To run these different variations, we'll come back to OpenColor and create a separation for each color combination that we want to test. We'll separate the original RGB file with each profile we created. Before using this process, the client didn't know how a multi-channel file would print on press, and there was often a difference between the approved creative and the final output. Doing press testing is costly, so either there was a large expense for testing, or there was no testing, which led to unpredictable results. The client was thrilled to know what result to expect without ever having to spend the time or money on press testing. We were able to generate the files digitally and create proofs which could be edited and approved before going to press. With this process, we were able to shorten the time it took to get results, reduce costs, and increase accuracy. Not only that, but the client had confidence in the results and peace of mind knowing that the files were properly separated and proofed. This also gives the client more freedom during the creative process to explore options and refine the results.